he wants to make some money, Floyd wants to make some money. He wants to make some money, he can fight
your guy Jake Paul.
No, with him too, but he can fight the guy. And I mean the guy, I ain't gonna fight him again. But I'm talking about not Canelo, Crawford.
Oh, Terrence Crawford.
Force Usyk to fight anybody. You can't force anyone to fight anybody. You know, the will has to be on the Usyk side.
And because his range control is so good, he's in. His nickname's the cat. He's in like a cat, and he is so accurate with what he's doing. He makes you miss, he makes you pay. That's the art of the sweet science. It is the art of getting hit.
Mike Tyson recently told Shaquille O'Neal on his podcast that Floyd Mayweather will be destroyed if he ever faced Oleksandr Usyk. Tyson pointed out that Mayweather earns heavyweight level money without taking on real heavyweight level threats. He believes Floyd only comes back to boxing for the payday, not for serious competition. If Mayweather returns, Tyson says he'll avoid dangerous fighters like Usyk and instead choose easier, safer opponents.
I'm going with heavyweight.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Floyd feels like in a different category.
He made heavyweight money, but I'm talking about the heavyweight struggle.
Yes. I don't know if we're ever going to get to the heavyweights.
Huh?
Speaking of
No,
Floyd,
no, they're going to come back again. They'll always come back.
Speaking of Floyd, him and Roy Jones been going back and forth. If they were to fight, give me your opinion on who you think would win and why. And what people want to see that fight now.
Well, listen, people are all going to hate on Floyd, so they will want to see the fight. They want to see Floyd get beat. But are they going to fight?
I know they're going back and forth.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they would matter. If he wants to make some money, Floyd wants to make some money. If he wants to make some money, he can fight
your guy Jake Paul.
No, with him too, but he can fight the guy. And I mean the guy, I ain't gonna fight him again. But I'm talking about not Canelo, Crawford.
Oh, Terrence Crawford.
Oleksandr Usyk has cemented his legacy in boxing with an Olympic gold medal and victories over top-tier opponents, most notably beating Anthony Joshua twice. His greatness is already secured. He now stands at a point where nothing more is required to prove himself. Yet, despite having little left to prove, speculation continues to swirl about who he might fight next.
Which he doesn't have to do probably because his legacy is secured. He's done basically everything in boxing. And if he was to retire tomorrow, or what could happen, which has been muted, that he was going to have the Dubois fight and then he was going to have a celebrity fight, you know, like crossover fight with the next MMA or something like that, which for me wouldn't be nice because I think it would cheapen his legacy in some way. But as Addy said, pounds and pence and dollars are what count in this game.
Andy, have you spoken, or has Spencer Brown or Frank spoken to you? Because to be fair to Frank, I've spoken to Frank twice since the fight, and he does always say it's Joseph Parker next, it's Joseph Parker next. And he says it with a bit of force as well, as though he's promised you guys that you will be next in line. Has there been a conversation with Frank as to what happens with Joseph? Because I almost feel sorry for Joseph now. It's got to the stage where every time I see Joseph, I'm like, okay, but when are you going to fight? When are you going to fight? And he has this face of, I don't know. And it's upsetting for me as well just to see him on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's very frustrating for him and for us as a team, but I had a brief conversation with Frank Warren as we were walking back from the ring. He said, it has to be Joe. He said, we're going to push for Joseph. And Spencer Brown, he said, we're going to push for Joseph. David Higgins, we're going to push for Joseph. But you can't force Usyk to fight anybody. You can't force anyone to fight anybody. You know, the will has to be on the Usyk side.
Joseph Parker is among the names being floated as a potential opponent for Usyk. While nothing has been confirmed, many top heavyweights are eager for a chance. Usyk, however, has stated he only has one fight left in him, a comment that's only heightened the intrigue surrounding his next and possibly final bout.
The will has to be on the Usyk side. The will for Joe is there. He'd fight anybody, and as he's shown, but the will has to be and the want has to be on Usyk's team.
Put your fighter hat on for me if you can, Andy, again. I mean, I saw, it's funny because the video of Dubois getting knocked out, there's you and Joe in the background, and I can see both of your reactions. When you're watching that, I mean, again, you've seen some of the best heavyweights in the world. You've been in camp with some of the best heavyweights in the world. When you're watching that, are you watching it like myself and thinking, okay, this is an all-time great you're seeing?
First and foremost, I watched it as a fan and I enjoyed the fight. I thought Dubois started really well, but there's something about Usyk, isn't it? And just this change after round 1, round 2, Dubois was having some success, landing right hands.
Usyk has built a reputation as a fighter who never ducks a challenge or drags out negotiations. Unlike others in the sport who rely on media hype, drawn-out talks, and promotional tactics, Usyk takes a straightforward approach. Once he commits to a bout, there are no games, just hard work and focus. His no-nonsense mentality and willingness to face any opponent anytime have earned him deep respect throughout the boxing world. Both fans and promoters admire him for consistently stepping up without excuses or delays, proving himself inside the ring every time.
And one thing I would say that we have to appreciate from Usyk is how he's so willingly down to fight anybody, right? Typically in boxing, you look at how boxing is structured. You have the Ali Act where a fighter could be like, nah, I don't want to fight him. Okay, we're going to strip you of your belt since you don't want to, defend that belt, right? How long does it take us to get a Gervonta Davis to fight, maybe a Devin Haney, or a Ryan Garcia fighting somebody else, right? It takes fucking forever. But now when it comes to Usyk, Usyk, he's a champion. Okay, your next title, the person you have to defend against is Dubois. Perfect, send me the contract, I will be ready. You don't get that nowadays in boxing. You don't fucking get that. But when he fights, that's one thing I love about him.
Just beating Daniel Dubois in a rematch, the younger guy, and he's made it look easier against him and schooled him and destroyed him. That is the pinnacle of skill in boxing. That's the pinnacle of the fucking sport.
Becoming a 3-time undisputed champion across multiple weight classes is no accident. It's a result of relentless dedication, evolution, and elite skill. Usyk's transition from cruiserweight to heavyweight wasn't simply about adding muscle. It was about adapting, improving, and proving he could outclass bigger, stronger opponents. His consecutive wins over top-tier heavyweights like Anthony Joshua demonstrated not just physical preparation, but superior ring IQ and relentless work ethic. But Usyk's greatness goes beyond the ropes. During the height of his career, he paused everything to serve his country during wartime. That decision alone reflects a rare kind of courage and selflessness, showing he's not just a fighter, but a man of principle, ASA result. Boxing experts have started mentioning Usyk in the same breath as legends like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. While each fought in different divisions, Usyk's dominance, adaptability, and unbeaten record place him in that elite company. His technical mastery recalls Mayweather, while his bravery and grit echo Pacquiao. What truly sets him apart is how seamlessly he conquered multiple divisions while staying undefeated. Usyk isn't just the best of his generation. His legacy cements him among the all-time greats.
How high is Oleksandr Usyk all-time on the GOAT list? I've seen a lot of debate that he's top 5 already, top 10, shouldn't be in the top 10 yet. So here's my thoughts on it. I think you can put him anywhere from like number 4 to number 10 all-time. But he should definitely be in everyone's top 10. 2-division undisputed champion at cruiserweight and heavyweight. And he probably has the 2 best undisputed runs in the 4-belt era. At cruiserweight, he beat everyone in enemy territory. Lewacki in Poland, Briedis in Latvia, Kassim in Russia, Bellew in the UK. At heavyweight, he beat all the Brits, mostly on enemy territory, twice. Joshua twice, Fury twice, Dubois twice. Of that post-Mayweather Pacquiao era, I think he's definitely the greatest. Now, I have Usyk number 8. For reference, I have Floyd 1, Manny 2, Ali 3, Robinson 4, Duran 5, Leonard 6, Roy Jones 7, and then Usyk at 8. I know there's a whole debate right now about Usyk and Ali. Of course, Usyk's more skilled than Ali, but I think Ali's resume is greater, which is why I have him higher. But I'm curious to know how high people have Usyk now all time, without recency bias.
Floyd Mayweather has crafted his career through calculated choices both in and out of the ring. Known for his sharp business sense and strategic mindset, Floyd consistently selects fights that offer high financial reward with minimal risk. He studies opponents thoroughly, ensuring each matchup aligns with his goal of protecting his undefeated record. This approach has led to enormous earnings, but also highlights his reluctance to take fights where the risk outweighs the reward. Analysts agree. If the money is right and he can control the terms, Floyd may return to the ring, but only against carefully chosen opponents who fit his blueprint.
Yeah, you're fighting the best fighter in the world, and you're figuring out a strategy of how do I win, but how do I last?
Yeah, and that was the strategy. I had a good idea that I wasn't going to be able to knock him.
No, but that's not the goal with a guy like that. No, but Floyd is the most precise, Floyd doesn't care who boxes, who likes, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Floyd only cares about the points. If the fight is entertaining, it's for him, it's just a strategy. So he's kind of like the beast of fighting. You know, beast is like, how do I get the algorithm and the numbers?
100%.
That's how Floyd is.
Do you think he's the greatest? One of the greatest?
Every
ever?
great fighter in the world says technically there's somebody better.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan has frequently praised Floyd Mayweather for his exceptional defensive skills. In one conversation, he described how Floyd can stand directly in front of an opponent and still avoid getting hit. Without relying on flashy moves, Mayweather uses timing, shoulder rolls, and precise, minimal movement to make himself nearly untouchable. Rogan emphasized that Floyd's style isn't just about physical defense. It's psychological. He frustrates opponents, forces mistakes, and controls the pace of the fight with his presence alone. Even when he appears idle, he's mentally dominating the ring. Similarly, Usyk's masterful footwork draws admiration for its beauty.
It's all like slight slips away, and it's slight motions, which is all you need to get away from a punch, right? You don't want to move too far. You're wasting a lot of energy and you can't counterattack. One of the best things about Floyd, and one of the most brilliant things about him, he's one of the most elusive fighters of all time, but he didn't move around. He stood right in front of you and you couldn't fucking hit him. That's true mastery of space and true mastery of technique. In my opinion, he's the best boxer that's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not qualified to rank people, but I watched when he was making that ascent towards it. It ended up being 50, you know?
He just fought last weekend, this weekend. Yeah, he fought a match against John Gotti's grandson, which is crazy.
That's scary for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, right? This is the second time they fought. The first time they fought, it ended in a brawl. Like a bunch of people jumped in the ring. It was crazy because they stopped the fight because they were talking too much shit to each other and holding on to each other too much. So the referee stopped the fight for whatever reason, I don't know. And in this fight was even crazy too because the first referee was terrible. And the referee said Floyd Mayweather hit him behind the head. Absolutely incorrect call. Floyd threw a right hand and it caught him on the side of the head, and the referee claimed that it was behind the head. So Floyd fired the referee in the middle of the bout. He stops the bout. He's like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Because he's the promoter.
Well, I guess. I mean, also, it's Floyd Mayweather. Like, what's the referee going to do? Fuck you? You know, I'm going to stop the fight? Like, also, they're in Mexico City. Like, you could get killed. Like, just get out of the ring, buddy. So Floyd throws this punch, and
Adam Catterall once likened Usyk's movement to ballet, and it's an unexpectedly fitting comparison. He glides around the ring with flawless balance, constantly shifting angles with graceful precision. Opponents often appear stiff and frustrated trying to keep up, struggling to land clean shots. Usyk's rhythm and footwork disrupt even the most seasoned fighters. He's quick without being frantic, assertive without losing control. Against heavyweights who rely more on brute strength and speed, Usyk's elegance and tactical movement make him nearly impossible to pin down.
I did notice his foot movement. He was just moving away, so Dubois couldn't hit him. And then when he was punching Dubois, he made him look like in football terms, he made him look like a non-league player. He made him look bad.
Mate, that's the beauty of Oleksandr Usyk. His training with his little mate Vasil Lomachenko, they came through the pro ranks together, well, amateur and pro ranks together, and their training regimes are completely off textbook. They don't do it like everybody else does it. There's a lot of ballet, for example, that they use. There's a lot of gymnastics. There's a lot of different techniques in their training that they incorporate into the game. You can see it with the way that he fights. He is like a brutal ballerina. His footwork is absolutely sensational. What he does, he stands in range just enough, so therefore the guy that he is fighting believes that he's going to get hit in a moment. So therefore mentally you're constantly working, and therefore you're throwing at times where he's then making you miss. And because his range control is so good, he's in. His nickname's the cat. He's in like a cat, and he is so accurate in what he's doing. He makes you miss, he makes you pay. That's the art of the sweet science. It is the art of getting hit. Hitting and not getting.
Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights in boxing history, recently weighed in on Oleksandr Usyk. He expressed admiration for Usyk's skill and admitted he would have welcomed the challenge of facing him. Lewis noted that no current heavyweight has been able to solve the puzzle Usyk presents, but he believes he could have. That confidence speaks volumes, but so does the respect behind it. When a legend like Lewis acknowledges Usyk's dominance, it reinforces just how special and impactful Usyk's legacy is becoming.
That's IFL TV. Appreciate Lennox stopping. A stunning win there for Oleksandr Usyk tonight here at Wembley. What did you make of it?
Great win. He did the right things. He did a lot of good things in the fight. I thought Daniel came out a bit too strong. Should have taken his time, especially the first round. And, he was overreaching a little bit and he got caught.
Is there anyone on this planet, an active fighter, that can beat this man? He's got back-to-back wins or double wins over Fury, Joshua, and now Dubois. I mean, it's phenomenal coming up from cruiserweight.
It's phenomenal. I wish I was in this era to box because I would have loved to box him. And I can't see why nobody can't figure him out. I would be able to figure him out. Oh yeah, Usyk is the best of this era, and he does the right things. He moves well. He doesn't get hit, and he's elusive, and he's hard to beat.
Then it's just the final one. What would be your advice to Daniel Dubois? He's come back from losses before, obviously Joe Joyce, etc. But what would your advice be to this 27-year-old lion?
Keep up with boxing. This shouldn't. He should learn from this and bring it to the next fight. I don't think he should quit. I think he's got a long, good life in boxing.
Felix, much appreciate your time this week. Have you got anything else you'd like to say?
Yes. Lennox Lewis is the best. I laid them all to rest. I'm the pugilist specialist. Nobody contests.
Love that. Top of the head.
Chris Algieri, former champion and respected analyst, has offered high praise for Oleksandr Usyk, calling him a rare talent in today's boxing world. According to Algieri, Usyk doesn't just beat elite opponents. He makes them look ordinary. His superior control of distance, timing, and strategy sets him apart from the rest. Algieri believes there are no true threats for Usyk among today's heavyweights because his style relies not on raw power, but on intelligence and precision. What truly makes Usyk unique is his calm dominance and willingness to take the hard road. From his days as a cruiserweight to becoming a unified heavyweight champion, he never looked for shortcuts. He didn't wait for rivals to decline. He took them on at their peak. That mindset has earned him deep respect across the boxing community. Usyk's legacy is not padded. It's forged through risk, challenge, and a consistent desire to prove himself against the best.
I'm sorry. I can't help it, man. I fucking love this. Honestly, I fucking love this game. I'm sorry for going on like a lunatic, right? But it was unbelievable. And it's funny how this fight all came about, right? The controversy in the last fight, which for me was never controversial. It was a low blow, simple as that. And I don't think we've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk ever look for an easy way to win. In fact, I think of all the fighters on planet Earth, he is the one who takes the hardest road to win. There's no tune-up fights for Oleksandr Usyk. It's the biggest fight in a heavier weight than he should even be fighting at, and he makes life harder for himself, not easier. And I think he has proven his character time and time again. But yet he was accused of not being, a real Christian because he was a cheat. He was accused of deserving an Oscar because he was a play actor and robbing Daniel Dubois of what should have rightfully been his, which was a world title. And after the Tyson Fury fight, Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring and called him out, and Oleksandr Usyk immediately turns to Turki Al-Sheikh and says, Mr. Excellency, make the fight. He had no problem in setting this up, and immediately you kind of think he was in the middle of talking about his father. I think at the time it was an emotional moment. That's a time where when you've accomplished what he's done, you deserve respect, and I think he was disrespected there, and I think he took that personally, in the words of Michael Jordan. Now in the first round, Oleksandr Usyk did exactly what he needed to do to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois coming in with a load of confidence, wanting to be the aggressor, wanting to be the dominant bull that he was against Anthony.
Paulie Malignaggi, a highly respected analyst and former champion, delivered glowing praise for Oleksandr Usyk after one of his most masterful performances. Known for his deep technical insight, Malik Nagy called Usyk's display a brilliant example of modern boxing at its finest. He highlighted that Usyk's footwork isn't just quick, it's intelligent and calculated. Usyk constantly changes angles, subtly adjusts his stance, and maintains perfect balance, allowing him to dictate the pace of the fight. This makes it extremely difficult for opponents to time him or land clean punches. Malik Nagy emphasized how Usyk's anticipation and movement force opponents into uncomfortable positions. They either overcommit and get countered or freeze under pressure. What elevates Usyk further is his refusal to rely solely on power. He breaks opponents down systematically, using precision, rhythm, and ring IQ. According to Malik Nagy, this rare fusion of mental sharpness and physical skill places Usyk in a league of his own.
And the rematch stops him early. Was it 4 or 5? I don't even know. I'm so caught up in the moment. I don't even know which round it was, 4 or 5. But it was the first half of the fight. What a performance by Oleksandr Usyk. And a lot to discuss here, guys. A lot to break down here. First off, Dubois much more successful in the first fight than the second fight. Was the wet ring? Did the wet ring have anything to do with it? I saw in the post-fight interview, Dubois was asked about why he couldn't land his jab. What do you guys think? Obviously, Usyk's going to make some adjustments. I think the adjustments are going to be made in rematches. But did the wet ring? Because I thought the wet ring had a big part to do with why Usyk had some trouble in that first fight. And the wet ring hurts footwork guys more. I was a footwork guy. I've worked out sometimes in wet rings. It's frustrating. I've actually called temper tantrums in gym over rings being too wet. So, back in the day, not now. But what I'm saying is, to fight in a wet ring, that had to have some effect on Usyk and his footwork. He's a footwork guy. And tonight you just saw his footwork was magnificent.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned next time.